I used to believe the universe was vast, empty, indifferent, that whatever watched us, if anything did, would be out there, buried in the cold between stars. I was wrong. The signal didn't come from space. It came from underground. It started as a whisper beneath the static, a pulse repeating every 33 seconds. Too precise to be noise, too rhythmic to be natural. At first we thought it was satellite interference, a decaying orbit, a forgotten military echo, something human. But it wasn't coming from above. It was coming from below. 3 kilometers beneath a remote desert plateau, seismic monitors began recording micro-vibrations that didn't match tectonic movement. The pattern was deliberate, structured, layered, almost like breathing. I was part of the translation team. That's what we called ourselves. We mapped the pulses into audio frequencies, slowed them down, reversed them, isolated harmonics, and when we filtered out the noise, what remained made the room go silent. It wasn't random, it was patterned. Not language, not exactly, but architecture. Imagine hearing a cathedral. Not the choir, not the organ. The cathedral itself. The geometry translated into sound. Vaulted ceilings compressed into vibration. Stone arches converted into frequency. That's what we were hearing, something impossibly vast beneath us. The drilling began 2 months later. Officially, it was a geological survey. Unofficially, it was curiosity sharpened into obsession. The signal grew stronger the deeper we drilled. The rhythm adjusted, subtly, as if aware of proximity. At 2,947 meters, the drill struck something that wasn't rock. The sound it made wasn't metal scraping stone. It was hollow. The core samples came up black, not charred, not mineral-rich, just black. As if light itself refused to settle on it. The material absorbed illumination, reflected nothing. Even under full-spectrum analysis, it seemed to swallow wavelengths whole. The pulses intensified that night, not louder. Closer. I volunteered to descend with the first exploration team. I told myself it was scientific responsibility. The truth is, I needed to know if it was responding to us. The shaft was narrow, reinforced in sections descending into heat and pressure that felt almost biological. The deeper we went, the less the walls looked natural. Smooth planes began interrupting jagged rock. Angles too clean. Curves too intentional. At 3,012 meters, the drill chamber opened into void. Not a cave, a space, perfectly proportioned. The walls weren't carved. They were grown. Seamless black surfaces bending in impossible arcs. No tool marks, no fractures, just vast, continuous structure. And the signal was no longer coming from our instruments. We felt it. Low-frequency vibration in the bones, in the teeth, in the fluid behind the eyes. One of the engineers started bleeding from his nose. He said he could hear something inside the rhythm, a pattern repeating within the pulse. We recorded everything, and then we saw it. At the center of the chamber, suspended without visible support, was a structure shaped like nothing human, a fusion of angles and curves that defied Euclidean logic. It didn't cast a shadow correctly. Our lights bent around it slightly, as if gravity was confused. The pulses were originating from it, not emitted, transmitted, upward, through kilometers of Earth, into us. The linguist on our team began mapping harmonic intervals against ancient Sumerian tonal structures from texts discovered in the ruins of Göbekli Tepe. The correlation was impossible. The ratios matched, not symbols, ratios. As if something beneath us had influenced the earliest sacred architecture humanity ever built. As if we had been copying a blueprint we didn't understand. The vibrations intensified when we approached the central structure. My vision blurred, peripheral shadows stretched. The air felt thicker, like descending underwater. Then the signal changed. It broke pattern. 33 seconds became 32, then 31, accelerating. One of the geologists began screaming. Not in fear, in recognition. He said he could see it in his head. The structure unfolding, expanding beyond the chamber, beyond the planet. Not physically, conceptually, like a map of something layered beneath reality itself. And then the lights flickered. Not from power failure, from interference. Our instruments died first, then the cameras. But the vibration continued, stronger, inside the skull. I fell to my knees, not because I wanted to, because my body responded before my mind did. Something was aligning. The pulses synchronized with my heartbeat. 30, 29, 28. I realized then that it had never been a signal sent outward. It was a calibration, a countdown, not for destruction, for activation. We were not discovering it. We were completing it. Above ground, satellites recorded a burst of electromagnetic noise originating not from space, but from our coordinates. For 4.7 seconds, every deep space array pointed at Earth detected a signal identical to the one we had recorded underground, as if the planet had answered itself. The central structure shifted, not physically, perceptually. Its geometry reconfigured in ways that hurt to look at. And in that moment I understood something that has kept me awake every night since. This was not ancient. It was foundational. Not buried by time, buried by design. Human civilization had not built upward from ignorance. We had grown outward from something already here. The geologist stopped screaming. He started whispering, repeating the same phrase over and over. It's beneath everything. The pulses slowed. 20, 19, 18. I wanted to run. But the chamber felt less like a place and more like a threshold, as if stepping backward would not return me to the surface, but to something smaller, less aware. The vibration peaked at 17 seconds, and then silence. Absolute. Total. Not the absence of sound, the absence of potential. The structure dimmed. No, not dimmed. Withdrew. The black surfaces lost their depth. The chamber felt hollow again, just a cavity in stone. Our instruments rebooted. Cameras flickered back. Nothing at the center. Empty space. The pulses were gone. No seismic anomaly. No transmission. No vibration. As if it had never been there. But it had. Because when we returned to the surface, the world was subtly wrong. Not visibly. Structurally. The satellite arrays reported background cosmic radiation fluctuations inconsistent with previous models. Ancient monuments across the globe, from Göbekli Tepe to Great Pyramid of Giza, showed minute electromagnetic resonance shifts at the exact timestamp of our descent. Something had synchronized, and then gone quiet. The official report classified the event as seismic misinterpretation. The site was sealed. Concrete poured, data redacted. Most of the team signed non-disclosure agreements. 2 resigned. 1 disappeared. The geologist who whispered, "It's beneath everything," no longer speaks. Not because he can't. Because he says language is too small now. I still have the original recordings. And sometimes late at night when I isolate the noise floor and amplify the deepest layer of the spectrum, I can hear something faint. Not a pulse. A space between pulses. A gap that shouldn't exist. Like breath drawn in, waiting, because the countdown never reached 0. It stopped at 17. And sometimes, when the ground is quiet and the world is asleep, I feel a vibration beneath my feet. 17 seconds long. Repeating. Slower now. Patient. The signal didn't come from space. It came from underground, and I don't think it finished.